Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and noticing something doesn't feel right. The sunlight coming through your window looks different. Instead of the familiar golden glow that has greeted humanity for thousands of years, your room is filled with a bright blue light. At first, you might think it's a trick of your eyes or maybe an unusual sunrise. You grab your phone, open social media, and immediately realize something impossible has happened. Every post is talking about the same thing. The sun has turned blue. Millions of people rush outside to look at the sky. Some are amazed. Others are terrified. News stations interrupt their regular programming. Astronomers begin pointing every telescope they have toward the sun. And within minutes, scientists around the world realize this isn't just a beautiful change in color. It's the beginning of a global emergency. Most people never think about the color of the sun. It has always looked yellow, so we simply accept that's what it's supposed to be. But in reality, a star's color tells scientists something incredibly important: its temperature. The hotter a star becomes, the bluer it appears. That means if our sun suddenly looked blue, it wouldn't just be shining differently, it would have become dramatically hotter, and that tiny change in color would completely transform life on Earth. To understand why, we first need to understand how perfectly balanced our sun really is. Every second, deep inside its core, billions upon billions of hydrogen atoms are smashed together under enormous pressure. This process, known as nuclear fusion, creates helium while releasing an unimaginable amount of energy. That energy travels through space for about 8 minutes before reaching Earth. Every sunrise, every warm summer afternoon, every plant growing in a forest, every drop of rain, every breath you take exists because of that energy. Life on Earth depends on the sun remaining remarkably stable. Even small changes in the amount of energy it releases can slowly alter our planet's climate over decades or centuries. But in this scenario, the change doesn't happen slowly. It happens overnight. If the sun truly became blue, scientists would immediately begin calculating just how much hotter it had become. Even before the public understood the danger, observatories would detect massive increases in ultraviolet radiation pouring toward Earth. Satellites designed to monitor the sun would begin recording numbers unlike anything ever seen before. Some instruments might even fail because they were never built to observe a star this energetic. Within the first hour, governments across the world would hold emergency meetings. Not because people were in immediate danger, but because nobody would know what was coming next. Would the temperature keep rising? Would the sun continue changing? Or was this only the beginning? As Earth continued orbiting this hotter star, the first noticeable effects wouldn't actually be the heat. It would be the light itself. The sky would no longer look quite the same. Blue sunlight contains more energy than the yellow sunlight we're used to. The atmosphere would scatter light differently, giving daylight an almost unnatural appearance. Colors around you would seem slightly off. Shadows would become sharper. Even ordinary landscapes might feel strangely unfamiliar. Photographers would notice it immediately. Artists would struggle to recreate it. People everywhere would describe the world as looking almost alien. Then the temperature would begin climbing. Not by a few degrees, but enough for scientists to realize this wasn't temporary. Weather stations around the world would report unusual readings. Cities already experiencing summer would become dangerously hot. Air conditioning systems would run non-stop. Electricity demand would skyrocket. Power grids, already stretched during heat waves, would begin struggling to keep up. Hospitals would prepare for thousands of cases of heat exhaustion. Farmers would notice their crops drying out faster than normal. Animals would begin changing their behavior. searching for cooler places long before humans fully understood the threat. And this would all happen within the very first day. By now, scientists would likely deliver a frightening announcement. The sun itself hadn't simply changed color, it had become something closer to an entirely different type of star. And if that was true, the worst was still ahead. So here's the real question: could humanity actually survive a blue sun? We'll answer that in part 2.